Welcome to City Corner, an ongoing program where we talk about what's happening in our city. Hello, I'm Gail Everett. The underlying goal of the Benton County Emergency Management and the 911 Dispatch Center is to ensure that in times of emergency, citizens receive timely, responsive, and accurate services. While not a department of the City of Richland, the city serves as the administrating agency for the Benton County Emergency Management. Joining us today to talk about these services is Deanna Davis, BCEM Emergency Management Manager. Hello, Deanna.
Hi, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming. Well, I have a big question for you. Can you tell me what Benton County Emergency Services is all about?
So Benton County Emergency Services is two divisions, Benton County Emergency Management and Southeast Communication Center. The Southeast Communication Center provides 911 services for all of Benton and Franklin counties, and Benton County Emergency Management provides emergency management services for Benton County only.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, we recently received nationwide 911 call outage information. It came on our emails and our cell phones. Can you explain the system that was used to notify residents?
Right, so on December 27th, there was a statewide 911 outage. Because we have such a close working relationship with our 911 center, with Southeast Communications, we received notification of that outage and were requested to put out some information to the public to ensure that those folks within our area knew what number to call when you can't use 911. What number should we call? We use a couple of systems that we have at our disposal. One is called Code Red, and it is an emergency telephone notification system. And we also use the emergency alert system, which would have activated our broadcasters, radio stations, and cable crawls across TVs to provide information to the public about the 7-digit phone number, the non-emergency line that was not affected by this outage, so that folks still had an avenue to get to 911 services.
I see. So how would one sign up for Code Red?
So that's a great question. So Code Red is an opt-in service, and you can get to the opt-in page on our website, so www.bces.wa.gov. It is a free service for all Benton and Franklin County residents, actually, and you would sign up via the web page from your respective emergency management agency. So you'll sign up through our web page, click on the Code Red link, input your information, and you are now registered for Code Red. When you're signing up, you can sign up based upon your address. So it's a geographic system. So sign up based upon your address, your phone number, email, or text messaging. Those are some of the varying ways that you can get these messages. And you can sign up for more than one phone number or more than one address. So you'll sign up for places that are important to you, your home address, your children's school, your parents' address, your children's address. Anything that's important to you, you can sign up with those geographic locations in Code Red. If something happens that's affecting that specific geographic area, you'll be notified by the method that you choose, either a cell phone call, landline call, an email, or a text message.
So you put that information in.
You put that information in.
And it's not an app. You have to go to your website and download it that way.
Correct. There is a Code Red app, however, it is different. So the Code Red app that you'll see in the App Store is different than the Code Red sign up that you'll do through our web page.
Good to know.
So we encourage all residents to sign up through the web page. That's the one true way to ensure that you are in our database.
Okay, well, how does it affect the Hanford site emergencies?
So the Hanford site emergencies are a specific program that we do emergency planning for within Benton County Emergency Management. We would also use the same tool to provide emergency instructions to those residents who live within a prescribed emergency planning zone. So something very specific to understand is we have two technological hazards that we do a great deal of pre-planning for. That is the Columbia Generating Station's operating nuclear power plant and the Department of Energy's Hanford site. So while Columbia Generating Station's Energy Northwest sits on the Hanford site, it is not part of the Hanford site. So we do specific planning for those types of emergencies for a very specific segment of the population. It's about 10 miles from the center of the nuclear power plant.
Okay, so how would they be notified and what would they be told during this notification process?
So how they would be notified is a number of different ways. First and foremost is there are a number of outdoor warning sirens that are stretched throughout the community along the Columbia River and then some in the interiors of the Richland area from those areas that are affected. So those sirens would provide a 3-minute audible sound followed by a message instructing them on what they should do.
Okay.
Primarily at that point, that's the alert part of it. We're looking for folks to go back inside to listen to the radio for further instructions. We would also use our Code Red system, which would then dial their phones, provide them email, and provide them very specific instructions on what they specifically need to do to keep themselves safe, as well as using the emergency alert system message.
Okay, and that's really good information to know. Now, how do our children be notified at the schools?
Right, so the Richland School District actually does not have any schools which are located within the emergency planning zone for these very specific hazards for the Hanford site or for Energy Northwest. However, because we know that there are school children who have the potential to go to school in Richland School Districts who would live in an area that may have to take some protective actions, we notify the Richland School District that something has happened,
Okay.
and then they notify the appropriate parents of those school children who may live in an affected area.
Okay.
That way they're not being sent home to an area that's been
Gotcha.
evacuated.
Okay, so how are the locations identified for evacuations?
So areas identified for evacuations for our very specific hazard programs like Energy Northwest or the Hanford site are done with just that pre-planning using the 10-mile emergency planning zone, or for the Hanford site, a given distance away from the threat area. And so those are already outlined and designed, and we have pre-planned actions for them. As a matter of fact, anybody who lives within that area is mailed what they call a Hanford Site Neighbors Calendar. This is the one for 2019. They are mailed this calendar to their home, and this gives them all of the emergency instructions and information that they would need to know for being part of an emergency planning zone for those areas.
And those are for the areas that could be affected, that
Those
are
are for,
closest
right,
to.
right. Primarily the most populated or densely populated area within the city of Richland that is affected would be the Horn Rapids Master Plan community.
Okay.
So if we have residents who are watching this who have not received a calendar of this nature and live within the Horn Rapids area, please give our office a call and we will make sure that you get one.
Well, it kind of looks historic too. Is that like a pretty calendar too?
It is. Every year it changes. This year it was historic pictures from around our area, done in a sepia tone, so it's very nice.
That is nice. So you only have enough printed probably for the segmented population. So
Right,
I
not
live
for
in
all.
Kennewick. I can't get one of those
No,
calendars.
they're
can
not.
I?
They're not specific for areas of Kennewick because the information that's contained in here is very specific to the area that those people live in.
Okay, that's
providing
very
them
cool.
specific emergency instructions and information.
Wow, that's a
Yeah.
great idea too. Okay, so how do all of our communities work together when an emergency does happen?
That's a really great question. So our community is very fortunate in the fact that all of our responders, all of our communities work exceptionally well together. At my office at Emergency Management or Benton County Emergency Services, we have an emergency operations center. It's a very large room, lots of technology. That room is the center focal point during an emergency. It is designed to be the coordination hub so that everyone has one central location to respond to direct and control the emergency from that area so that we're not having to rely on using cell phones or email or other means of communication. We're all in one room directing.
And you're getting the same message.
Absolutely,
Yes.
yeah, that's key.
Yes, that sounds great. Okay, what other emergency related services does BCES provide other than Hanford notifications?
So as I spoke of, Code Red, that's probably the most important piece of information that the public can take away is signing up for this system.
Okay,
we
and we can all sign up.
Absolutely.
Kennewick, Pasco, Richland.
Absolutely. All
right.
of Benton County and actually all of Franklin County.
Okay.
You'll sign up through your respective emergency management agency. But that is the best way that we have to reach the public in the event of an emergency. And it's very specific. While emergency alert system messaging is broad-based and it can reach all of Benton County, it's not specific. It's not specific to a given location, where Code Red is geographically based, so it is very specific to a targeted area. We can use this to provide emergency information and instructions on actions the public needs to do to keep themselves safe. We've used it very recently this summer with wildland fires. So it provides us a mechanism to reach the people who are in an area that may be in immediate danger and let them know that they need to leave their home. So it gives us the avenue to reach a very large number of people within a very, very short amount of time.
Okay, and this is different than like the AMBL alerts that go on everybody's phone that is very loud and right? It's different.
It is. It's different, but it's very similar as well. So that you mentioned Amber Alert. Through our Code Red program, we also have the ability to turn on people's cell phones. So you had mentioned people were notified with a 911 outage, December 27th. So there may have been people who received a notification on their cell phone who had never signed up for Code Red and were wondering, how on earth did they know to turn my phone on? Well, we use a component of that called a wireless emergency alert. And through that component of wireless emergency alerting, we can actually activate people's cell phones within a triangulated area. So again, using the geographic nature of Code Red. However, it's not 100% foolproof. The only surefire way to ensure that you are in our database is to sign up through our website.
Okay. Now talk about the training and preparation schedule for staff and how BCES prepares for emergencies.
So the best way that we have to prepare for emergencies is to practice our plans and procedures.
Okay.
So part of what we do at our office is we write plans, we coordinate with other agencies to determine a given action in an emergency. And so in order for us to ensure that those actions are actually going to work, we play, we pretend. We have, on an annual basis, at least every quarter, we practice with Columbia Generating Station that something has happened out at the plant, and how do we respond to that? How do we keep the public safe? And so on an annual basis is a very large scale, what we call an exercise or a drill, where we bring all parties involved into our emergency operations center, and we do just that. We pretend that something has gone wrong, and now how do we respond to it?
That's great.
To ensure that everything works just like it's supposed to.
Yeah, that's fascinating. All right, what other types of emergency situations might we face in our region?
So the Tri-Cities is actually pretty lucky in the fact that we don't have a lot of natural disasters like other areas of the country face. But that's not to say that we don't have the potential for emergencies within our area. Certainly we know that there are areas that are more prone to wildland fire issues than others. Those homes that are built right up against sagebrush lands certainly have a higher risk for wildfire emergencies than others do. Those that live along the Yakima River, we know on an annual basis that Yakima River does tend to rise. Sometimes it rises higher than other times. So we have some minor flooding hazards along the Yakima on an annual basis, with more major flooding hazards that certainly can happen, as we saw in the 1995-1996 floods, where it produced quite a large flood for our area. Of course, we always have windstorm issues, so we have severe weather, not a lot of snow, thankfully, but those are always little emergencies that can happen here and there. And the best way that citizens can prepare themselves for any emergency is to take some time ahead of an emergency and do a little pre-planning. Make sure you have your disaster supply kit. Most people might not know this, but the recommended amount of water is 1 gallon per person per day. And the recommended amount of preparation is 2 weeks. So a 2-week ready kit is quite a lot to prepare for. My take on it is anything is better than nothing. It used to be 72 hours. Now the whole state itself has moved to a 2-week readiness campaign to be self-sufficient for a period of about 2 weeks. Because we do understand that in the event of a major emergency, whether that emergency happens in eastern Washington or that emergency happens in western Washington, our ability to get goods and services into our community may be limited. So you may have to rely on yourself for a period of 2 weeks.
Alrighty, so public education is another important function of you guys. How do you want the public to know about being prepared in the emergency situations, and is there anything else you want to add to that?
So there's a lot of great websites out there that can help this citizenry prepare themselves for any emergency. There's links to those websites on our homepage, the Benton County Emergency Services homepage, or FEMA.gov, the American Red Cross. They all have fabulous resources that can help you do an emergency plan for your family, that helps you know what things to prepare for, what plans to have in place, things that you should know. Where's your water shut off? How do you shut your utilities off? If you have gas. So things to think about ahead of time so that in the face of an emergency, you're not panicking.
Yeah, that's so true. Where can we find more information about BCES?
So our website.
Okay, what is that website?
www.bces.wa.gov.
Okay.
And of course, the Code Red link will be on there. Please sign up for Code Red. It is a free service provided to you through our agencies, provided to the community at no cost. Your data remains 100% private.
Okay, good.
So your data, you're not going to be sold to any number
Excellent.
of telemarketing lists because you signed up for Code Red. But it is the best way that we have to reach the public in an emergency.
All right, that's excellent.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, just thank you for having me. Thank you for the opportunity
You're
to
so welcome.
to let the public know a little bit about what our agency is, what we do. And again, my shameless plug for Code Red. Please sign up for Code Red through our website at on the Code Red link. And we cannot reach you if we can't. We cannot alert you if we can't reach you.
And Facebook, you do have a Facebook page
Absolutely,
as well.
yes, we do have a Facebook page. So we try very hard to post anything that's happening emergency related to our Facebook page.
Okay.
And then we also post to our website as well.
My thanks to our guest today, Deanna Davis, for coming on the program. If you would like more information on emergency management services, visit the website at the link below. Thanks for watching this edition of City Corner. I'm Gail Everett.